Shut up and sit down.
You're listening to the Cheaters Never Pin podcast, a proud part of the Section 328 family. Follow us on Twitter at CheatersInVRPin. Now, live from ringside, it's Mr. Workrate and JC. Good evening, morning, afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the number one wrestling podcast that shills its own merch that makes fun of one of its own hosts. This is the Cheaters Never Pin podcast. We're glad you're here.
I was going to say, we received our first Shut Up Tom shirt. And it's a quality shirt.
They are. They're good shirts.
But
Very good
we'll
shirt.
come to merch later.
We'll get to merch.
Yeah.
We're not gonna just start shilling off the top. We're not every other podcast. We're Cheaters Never Pin, damn it.
No, we're not going to throw in 6 commercials before we actually talk about whatever the hell it is that we talk about on this thing.
Yeah, we're not going to be trying to get you to sue somebody for mesothelioma. Or
Mesothelioma. I think I have that, by the way.
I hope not. That'd be
We all
terrible.
do.
Ugh. Well, as Tom slowly dies from mesothelioma, that's even better.
That's even worse, man.
We're just going to keep recording the show anyway.
While I can still breathe.
Yes. So if you'd like to send well wishes to Tom as he slowly dies from mesothelioma, you can leave those well wishes at facebook.com/cheatersneverpin or on Twitter. God, what the hell? I can talk all day until I sit down in front of this microphone.
You've run out of words.
I have. On the Twitter at CheatersInVRPin. Thoughts and prayers to Tom.
I'm just dying. I don't have words.
If you feel really bad about Tom's slow death, 5-star review would be helpful. That might actually... The cure for mesothelioma is a 5-star review on iTunes.
Pretty sure that's medically proven. That's in journals.
You know what helps even more? If you put those reviews on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, SoundCloud, YouTube, or Spreaker.
That was pretty well done.
It was a good bit. Oh, we got a fun show. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about tonight, Tom.
We do. There was a decent amount of activity in the graps world.
Yes, we got Money in the Bank coming up this Sunday. So we got to give our incredibly uninformed predictions.
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot about that.
Yep. Then we got to talk about Dominion and possibly the greatest professional wrestling match of all time.
Yeah, I have many words to say about that. You may want to grab an Uncrustable during that.
We have a 10 count.
There's death involved this time, isn't there?
Yeah, there's 2 of them, Tom.
Yeah,
2.
I know one of them. Well, I know both of them. I actually read the rundown, but
I'm glad I don't do that just for me.
I love the way you wrote number 10, by the way.
Yeah, good. I know. I figured you would. And then we have the match exchange. So stick around and hear Tom's review of DDP and Jay Leno versus Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan from WCW Road Rules. Or Road Wild.
Road Wild.
Now I want a WCW reality show called Road Rules.
It's burned into my corneas.
I'm still not sorry.
You will be.
Right. All right, well, let's lead off with something that's not on the rundown that we kind of touched on before we started recording.
I don't like to, prepare for things, so
no.
It works out.
I want to keep you on your toes. You're better on your toes, Tom.
Okay.
News broke shortly before we started recording this podcast that Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor have been booked in the greatest pro wrestling match of all time coming up in August.
What are you talking about? This is a legitimate sporting contest.
And it is, but boy, is it going to be sold like pro wrestling's supposed to be.
oh God, it's going to be the best promoted pro wrestling event that is not pro wrestling, possibly in the history of events.
Well, I've said for the last couple of years, UFC's been doing pro wrestling better than pro wrestling. Like, and building heat and feuds and just hatred and vitriol between two competitors. Boy, it's not even going to compare to what the hell's about to happen.
Well, I think what happens with UFC and MMA and things like that is we've lost, due to the death of kayfabe, we've lost kind of that rooting interest in hoping that one person beats the shit out of somebody else. Somebody getting their comeuppance. You just want, Roll Tide, you just want to, see the plot line develop. You don't necessarily want to see a good old slobber knocker. But with MMA, you're actually going to see that. So that's where you get a rooted interest, and then it just kind of builds itself up. And these are two guys, that you legitimately want to see a lot of times one guy get the shit kicked out of him. In pro wrestling, you don't really want to see somebody get hurt. You want to see two guys put on a good show, and you can applaud and go, okay, this is done really well. I hope everybody's okay. A lot of times in MMA, or boxing even, you're going, I hope that bitch got hurt. Mm-hmm. And that's definitely going to be the case in this event.
Right. I hope Floyd Mayweather. I have to give credit to this tweet. Matt Barlow at Matt_Barlow on Twitter today. I had said, I hope Floyd Mayweather gets hit so hard he learns how to read. To which I got the response from Matt, I hope he hits him so hard he learns to respect women.
I don't know if he can be hit that hard.
So, yeah. I have bloodlust for Floyd Mayweather Jr. I want him dead.
I want him dead. I want him in pain.
Yeah.
I want him to feel the pain that he's caused other people. Mainly women.
Mainly women. It's being said that this is the biggest kind of crossover boxing match since Ali and Noki in 1976.
And I'm still kind of confused on it because I'm not a huge MMA fan. I know Conor McGregor because I do not live under rocks. And I know Floyd Mayweather, and I know kind of the stories behind them, but Conor's an MMA guy. I don't know his boxing skills necessarily. I'm sure he can throw punches because he's Irish, but is he qualified really to have a boxing match? Is this going to be, because when you talk about Inoki Ali, that was a jumblefuck of rules that got changed up until 5 minutes before bell time because they couldn't figure out, do we do gloves? Do we not do gloves? Does one person have a separate set of rules compared to the other? How are we doing this?
Well, it is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, so there won't be any controversy there. And it is a professional boxing match.
Okay.
So it is 154 pound fight, 10-ounce gloves. It is a straight boxing fight.
So I would assume McGregor's going to go into this as an underdog.
Yeah, I think the line I saw earlier today was that Mayweather was the 1,100 point favorite.
Well, you're talking about
woof.
A boxer who's never lost a professional fight.
Right. He has the chance to be 50-0, and McGregor's never had a professional boxing match.
Yeah, so
this will be fun. This will be a story we will continue to follow. Which I realize it's not professional wrestling, but when these two start cutting promos on each other, it's going to get so good.
Professional wrestling will take notes.
Oh, yeah. Expect Vince to try to copy this somehow.
And do remember, too, that Floyd Merriweather, I cannot speak today.
Mayweather. Still close.
Whatever.
Mesotheliomia.
Yeah. Was employed for one match at least, by World Wrestling Entertainment.
There you go. So we could say WWE superstar Floyd Mayweather.
And Conor McGregor, sure as hell, Vince McMahon would love to be employed by WWE.
Well, Vince would love it, but he ain't got the money for Conor.
Yes.
Yes, give me that fucking potato eater, yes. That was racist.
And odd, because, Vince is pretty damn Irish himself.
Yeah, his name is McMahon. All right, let's move on to actual wrestling. What do you say, Tom?
Just a little less racism now. A little bit. It is wrestling, so there'll still be some.
Oh yeah, there's nothing but complete equality in World Wrestling Entertainment. Money in the Bank 2017, the Sunday Live from St. Louis on the WWE Network. It's Money in the Bank. It's one of my favorite shows of the year.
It's St. Louis?
St. Louis, yeah. Orton is trying to get the title back in his hometown.
Oh, so he's going to lose. Okay, got it.
Right.
We've broken the streak.
That's the whole reason they had Swan win at home. So you'd be like, oh, there's a chance. No, there's not a chance. It's not happening. So let's go ahead and discuss that match. Jinder versus Orton for the championship. Jinder's keeping the belt.
Yeah.
There's just no reason to put it back on Randy. None.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, if somebody else were going into this, going after the title, I could legitimately see somebody else taking the belt off of Jinder. But people seem to be warming up to him as a champion, and I don't think anybody outside of hardcore Randy Orton fans want to see the belt back on Randy. So
yeah, and I just don't know what good comes of it, which means they could totally do it. But okay, well, that was a great discussion on that match. So let's talk about.
I really don't like talking about Randy Orton. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's not much to say. Yeah. Except he had a sweet rug KO on Tuesday night.
Also, we just had this match, 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
And there's a hell of a lot better stuff on this card.
Oh. There's only 5 matches on this card. It just came to that realization staring at the sheet. I was like, there's got to be missing something.
And one of them's only going to be 8 minutes.
Right. So let's talk about Naomi and Lana.
Which will be about 8 minutes.
For the women's championship. This is a thing.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know what to say. I think it's because I don't know what to expect from Lana.
Okay. I'll throw a comment out there.
Okay.
That has relatively nothing to do with the match. When did Naomi change her complete outfit for the most part, her wrestling attire back kind of to what she used to wrestle with? Because I swear she was wrestling pants and t-shirts, and now she's back to being practically naked.
When she started the whole Feel the Glow thing, she was in a full body jumpsuit.
Yeah. But I
didn't even
saw
notice.
clips before. I saw clips before I went into actually watching SmackDown, which is probably the better way to watch it.
Yeah, it was real boring this week.
I saw the Lana attack on Naomi, and I'm just like, did Lana rip off all of Naomi's clothing? They're like, nope, that's her wrestling gear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, she's champ now. She's making more money because she's got that championship raise. She bought more gear. She's got a variety now, Tom. Somebody
said, yeah, we need to sex you up a little bit more.
Yep.
You need some day one is H. You can buy that gear now.
It'll never not make me laugh. Yeah, but the biggest X factor here is what can Lana wrestle? I mean, sit out power bomb looked fine Tuesday. I was fine with that.
I mean, she was doing some matches for NXT on house show type matches for a period of time before she kind of redisappeared again. And I don't know. I don't have any real reports from those matches, or if I did, I don't remember them because they weren't that recently. But she's been at least training somewhat to wrestle, and I imagine she's been spending a decent amount of time in the training center. So yeah, I agree with you. I don't know what necessarily to expect. She can't be as bad as Eva Marie, can she?
No.
So there you go.
No, it'll be fine. It's.
Is she going to wrestle in a dress? In like a ball gown?
I can't imagine.
Is she?
Because she could
Miss
barely.
Madness
She was
from 1999.
She was barely able to stand up because of the length of that damn dress on Tuesday.
Because Molly Holly is the only woman that can wrestle in a fucking ball gown.
Well, it's because Molly Holly's a goddamn warrior, Tom.
Yeah, she is.
Who's gonna win? Because I honestly don't know. Which makes me real scared, Tom.
I can't see Lana taking the belt. I mean, you're going to have a hell of a match for Money in the Bank to get the title shot. You can't have Lana actually as champion.
Here's what you have to put into perspective on this. They're both on Total Divas, Tom. Boy, this would make a good storyline, wouldn't it?
I guess if I watch that show.
How do you not watch Total Divas, Tom?
I'm just
It is
not...
it is the single best hour of WWE programming.
It is difficult for me to actually put on the E channel.
Why? They have two good shows, Total Divas and Total Bellas.
Yeah, no.
Oh, God. All right, well...
Naomi's retaining.
Yeah, probably. Let's talk about, before we get to the two co-main events, the tag team title match. The Usos will defend against the New Day. Will their day one be H, Tom?
I like how on Wikipedia it says the Usos, Jay and Jimmy Uso, champion, versus the New Day, Big E, Kofi Kingston, and or Xavier Woods. I say they use all three.
Shouldn't it be Big E and or Kofi Kingston and or Xavier Woods? Because that
use one, use three, just spin the wheel to figure out who's actually going to participate.
That's a real good gimmick, though. Some days it's a handicap match, some days it's not.
That's the risk you run. You can possibly have three people wrestle. You can possibly have one person wrestle.
I thought it was
Shane McMahon. Get on that.
I just thought it was real odd. Big E was the odd man out Tuesday. Like, what?
I don't think I can count on my left hand how many times I've seen Kofi and Xavier as the New Day tag team.
Yeah. It's usually Big E and one of the...
Well, it's usually Big E and Kofi.
Right. Because somebody's got to be out there with Francesca.
Yeah.
Francesca 2 Turbo.
And then recently, when Kofi had the injury, when he was selling the injury, they had Big E and Xavier for a little bit, and then before they took them completely off air.
Right.
But I don't.
Is there a reason to switch the time? I mean, the Usos are doing great right now. I love this Usos. This real angry coming out. It's not. Angry's probably not the right descriptor, but. Just them yelling all the time. I love it. They're so good right now.
I think the problem you run into if you put the belts on the New Day is you dig yourself into a hole again. Because the New Day take the titles and then they hold on to them. And then what else is there? I mean, then you basically have nothing for... Breezango to do. I guess you'd have rematches with the Usos and the New Day, and just I don't know. I think at least with the Usos retaining the titles, you have both Breezango and New Day and a few other groups able to kind of mix in with them and make it a little bit different and do a couple of different angles and that type of thing.
Yeah.
There isn't really, if the New Day take the titles, then outside of the Usos, who is there? Because Breezango's playing face.
Right.
You're not going to have like
the Colognes.
I was going to say, you're not going to have a big Cologne New Day feud. Are the Ascension still there?
I thought they were on Raw.
I can't remember.
All right, let's Google that. I was just sitting here thinking about old Connor and Victor. That's not how you spell Ascension.
Anyway.
This is good podcasting. Listen to me Google.
It doesn't matter. The Usos, no. I think the Usos retain here.
They are on
with
SmackDown.
With some tomfoolery.
Yeah, because they've got another pay-per-view to go between now and SummerSlam too. So,
and what was important too is the New Day don't need the titles.
No,
and I've said that before with other teams. And the thing with the New Day before, when they were on Raw and had those titles, was they kept retaining them, and at a point where they didn't necessarily need the titles, it became a thing that they were the longest reigning tag team champions. So you couldn't take the titles off of them. So it just became a thing. Right now, again, you're going to kind of put yourself into a hole if you put the belts on them. Let the Usos hold on to the titles for a little while and be the dickish heels that they are.
Yeah.
It's working. Let it go.
Yeah. It's fun. I'm entertained. Keep it going. At least to Battleground. All right. Money in the bank ladder match time. So we'll talk about the women's match first. Becky versus Charlotte versus Natalya versus Tamina versus Carmella with James Ellsworth. Who's jumping onto James Ellsworth off the ladder? And why is it Becky?
It's going to be Becky, yeah. Becky's going to finally get her comeuppance and pretty much murder James Ellsworth.
Yeah. I don't know who wins this match. The men's one I know. We'll get to that. I can tell you 100% who's winning that match. But this one I have no clue about. There's a good case to make for Charlotte.
Yeah.
But if she's going to stay face, the gimmick doesn't work. Tamina's, and I mean this in the nicest way possible. She's worthless. Like, why? Why would you do it?
She's there.
She's there. Yeah, that's probably what I should have said.
She's a good secondary person.
Yeah.
Like, she works well as a team. And her role that she had with Sasha and
Naomi,
I guess, was ideal because like Sasha was the leader and Naomi and Tamina was the mean bitch. So you had like the speed, the strength, and whatever Naomi is. But yeah, if I had to throw a possibility out there, I could see Carmella walking away with it.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Just because it's Money in the Bank's always been this kind of thing to elevate somebody that just needs a little extra boost. Mm-hmm. And Carmella's done a lot to kind of elevate herself. The feud with Nikki was better than it should have been.
Right.
And she's really come a long way since being basically the Enzo and Cass eye candy. And I could see her like sacrificing Ellsworth in order to get the Money in the Bank briefcase in some way, or Ellsworth doing something stupid in order to make sure that Carmella got the briefcase. So if I had to put $2 down, that's where I'd put my $2.
Also, the all-white briefcase would look fine with her gear.
It would.
That's why I'm also going to pick Carmella.
Glad we can agree on something that we'll be wrong on.
Yeah. So she will not be winning. Let's see. Then the men's match. Money in the Bank ladder match. Owen, Styles, Corbin, Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, Shinsuke Nakamura. Baron Corbin's winning. He's lost a lot lately.
Yeah.
Yep. They're trying to swerve you, bro.
Well, let's eliminate who it can't be. It's not going to be Nakamura.
No, and there's no need for it to be.
Right. That again is kind of digging your hole, just like throwing the belts on New Day. You give belts, you give gimmicks to people who need them. He doesn't need it right now.
Yeah. The only two people, like, Ziggler's a lost cause at this point.
Yeah, and he's already gotten it too.
Yeah,
like
he's twice. Has he won once or twice?
Twice, I think.
Right. Owens doesn't need it. Styles certainly doesn't need it. The artist known as Shinsuke Nakamura does not need it. Sammy is too big of a geek to have that damn briefcase. But Baron, it's a good fit. It's a good fit with him to just be a real dick carrying that briefcase around all the time.
Just like he had to be announced constantly as the Andre the Giant Memorial winner.
Him just carrying that briefcase. He's going to look like such an asshole just carrying that briefcase out.
Can he paint wolves on it? Can he put a T-shirt on it?
Can he make it out of, like, stitched leather? But yeah, it'll be a really looking at the talent. This match is going to be the bomb. It's going to be real damn good.
And my guess is if you're going to have Corbin do it, Sammy's going to get so damn close.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
And he's going to be like an inch away, and then I don't know, something's going to happen. Somebody's going to hit him, and then Corbin's going to use that opportunity to take it, or whoever's going to win it's going to take that opportunity.
Sammy gets to the top. Corbin pushes the ladder over, sets it back up, climbs up for the briefcase. While Sammy's doing his, oh my God, I've snapped every rib, let me clutch my side and try to reach up as high as I can while failing miserably.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sammy has improperly measured his actual height and realized he's on the wrong step.
He accidentally grabs the Wii LC ladder.
Yeah, that.
It's like, damn it, Sammy. No, stop it. We're going to get an AJ Shinsuke stare down. I hope there's no contact. I hope we just get the moment.
Yeah. And that'll be glorious.
Yeah. And then
that's the card, man.
And then Ziggler will take some stupid dive off a ladder.
Yeah. That's his job.
He will have crazy high spot. He'll have one, and then Sammy and Owens will have one.
Yeah. So that's it. It's a 5-match card.
That's Money in the Bank. I'm sure Saturday or Sunday we'll learn something on the pre-show. Probably a Hype Bros match. I would assume with Ryder returning.
Is Ryder officially back, or is he just on TV?
Ryder is back, baby. He is here to reclaim his Intercontinental Championship, but he's on the wrong brand, so that sucks ass.
Yeah, it sucks for him.
No, yeah, he's back.
Okay.
And then hopefully Rusev will return on Tuesday.
That'll be fun.
Stanley Cup Finals over. He's got nothing better to do. His wife's on active now. It'd be perfect. I miss Rusev. You know what else I'm going to miss, Tom?
What are you going to miss?
I'm going to miss you when you die from mesotheliomia.
Well, thank you.
And I know we already told you one way you can help fight Tom's mesotheliomia is by giving us a 5-star review, but there's one other way.
What might that be, JC?
That'd be going to cheatersneverpin.com and clicking the Patreon button at the front page. Holy shit, this music's really loud.
It is. I have no idea what I was supposed to do just then. Why don't you say it again?
You go to cheatersneverpin.com and you click the Patreon button on the front page.
Oh, okay.
And when you get there, you can donate however much you choose a month to the fine folks producing this podcast for you, and a portion of the proceeds will go to help Tom defeat mesotheliomia.
Not mesothelioma.
No, mesotheliomia.
No,
And
a completely made-up disease that we're talking about now.
Here's the key treatment that's going to cure his mesotheliomia. If you donate $1 or more to our Patreon by June 20th, whatever it is, 4th, 5th, 6th, let's just say the end of the month. You got till the end of the month, as far as I'm concerned.
Sure.
It's a note for Derek. Write that down somewhere. You're going to get access to listen to the first ever Cheaters Never Pin Drunk podcast, which I need to think of a wittier title for. And I'm pretty sure that day the massive amount of alcohol that's going to be imbibed before we partake in professional wrestling viewing is going to cure Tom.
Or just kill me quicker.
No, it'll cure you. Shut up. Live the gimmick.
Well, either way.
Either way. But yeah, so let me sum up this plug in a better method. Go to cheatersneverpin.com. Click the Patreon button on the front page. It's going to take you to the entire Section 328 Media Empire Patreon page. And there, if you feel so compelled to donate $1, $2, $5, $10 a month to the network, as a little thank you for what we produce for you every week, every month, we would greatly appreciate it. And you'll also help cure Tom of mesotheliomia.
And also, just a quick throw in there, since you're supporting both us and the Section 328 podcast network here, there are some new rewards for the various tiers.
Yes.
I hear some t-shirts are involved. So you're not just throwing us money. You can actually get something back outside of, us doing these weekly podcasts.
Yeah. It's cheatersneverpin.com.
Just check it out. Doesn't cost you anything just to look.
Nope. I tried to wrap
the first
that up
taste is free.
We ran out of music bed. It just stopped. That was a long plug. Because we had to get the jokes in.
You had to say mesotheliomia or whatever. Let's not say that anymore. I mean, it's already going to be the name of the podcast.
Oh, yeah? Think?
We've taken care of that already.
What's my one requirement, Tom? When I hit stop on the recorder and I say clear, and I'm trying to come up with it, when I go, what's my one comment every time? What was our through line tonight? What was our running joke?
Yeah.
So Tom, I'm making it happen this time.
It says early on in our rundown, get a damn show title before you hang up.
Because we didn't do that the first few times.
No.
Which is how you end up with horribly downloaded episodes purely based on title, like Carpentry Spray Bottle Edition or Spray Bottle Carpentry Edition.
No, we actually thought that one out.
Yeah, we did. Which is why we need to have a spontaneous joke be the title.
Yeah.
Like India number one. The number one all-time episode.
Thank you again, people from India.
Thank you again, India. You truly are number one. All right. I'm going to let you take the reins on talking about Dominion 611 in Osaka Joe Hall.
All right. So, Dominion took place Sunday morning at 3 a.m.
We both totally watched it live. Duh.
Yeah, totally. I was sleeping while I was watching it live, though. So, but I ended up watching it, I think, Monday. And it may be, and I've been thinking hard about this one. It may be my favorite card this year. Because I was trying to figure out if it was better than the January 4th Tokyo Dome show, and weighing both sides, and there were some similar matches on both of these, but I actually enjoyed this one a little bit more than the Tokyo Dome show.
I haven't even finished this yet, and I wholeheartedly agree.
Just because, I mean, just it has a little bit of everything in like practically every match.
Yeah.
But if you'd like, I will do the quick run through for it. So, opening match, which was the dark opener, I guess you could say.
I did skip over this one. I did not watch it.
Well, I'll go over it just real quick. It was the Young Lions match. David Finlay, who is not a Young Lion anymore, and Shota Umino and Oka defeated Kawado, Kinemura, and Yagi. The same exact people you've been constantly seeing in the opening match for pretty much every New Japan show the last, 6 months.
Right.
All the guys in the black tights, including, the Brock Lesnar looking one.
I was going to say, I watched him enter just so I could see him and be like, he's a big motherfucker.
He is big.
And I just fast forwarded.
He's big. His mouth guard looks cool. I mean, he's got a great look, and there's a hell of a lot of potential for him if he can wrestle, and he seems to be able to.
He's going to be damn money very soon.
Barring some horrible thing happening.
Especially if you let him start getting real stiff and you put him in the chase for the Never Championship.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, yes.
Okay. So the official opener was the big bag of tiger masks. For the fourth Tiger Mask, who is the current Tiger Mask now, Tiger Mask W, Toji Makabe, and Yuji Nagata, defeating Hiroshi Tenzan, Jushin Thunder Liger, Nakanishi, and Kojima in an 8-man tag team match, which lasted 7 minutes and was perfectly fine for the 7 minutes that it lasted. This is one of the things that I can appreciate about Japan over the United States is that you've got the guys that are 50 years old that are still stars because everybody knows them from 20 years ago, and they still want to wrestle, but they know that they're not the big names anymore. So they put them in 8-man matches so that each one only has to do a few signature spots, and they look halfway decent, and they don't have to win. And in this case, it was the Tiger Mask team going over. But it's okay. I mean, you've got Liger, who's doing jobs left and right. The man's the greatest junior heavyweight wrestler of all time. And he's doing jobs to pretty much everybody nowadays. And it's okay. Because he knows that's his role.
I'm going to just read my tweets from when I watched this match to summarize my thoughts. Tweet 1. I know this is probably awful to say, but I just don't care for the obligatory old man tag opening every show. Tweet 2. Yeah, Bushi may be in this match, but I'm going to skip it. I skipped it.
There you go.
So I have no comment because I didn't see it.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. It helps that I'm a mark for Tenzan and Kojima and Liger, and Yuji Nagata.
Yeah.
Just having watched him in old WCW, when he was being managed by Sonny Ono, and you kind of watched him, you're like, wow, look at this jobber, and he ends up being one of the best wrestlers in New Japan history. So
I'm just gonna say, I love Liger, I really do, but if they're just gonna keep jobbing him, I don't care. I just don't care.
He's making his appearances, and it's just what it is. I mean, and he didn't do the job here. Nakanishi, I think, did the job here.
I think so.
Ate the actual pinfall, but
I just don't like watching him lose. I'm just whatever. Oh, Liger's on the team? Cool, they're losing. Next match.
Okay. So anyway, next match then. I can never say that term.
Los Ingobernables de Japón.
Yeah. So Bucci, Evil, and Sonata defeated the Bullet Club team of Bad Luck Fale, Hangman Page, and the Tokyo Pimp. I'm sorry, that's what I refer to him as.
Right.
Because there's too many damn Takahashis on the roster.
2.
That's one too many. You're all allowed to have one name, damn it. The Chaos team of Ishii, Toru Yano, and Yoshihashi. Suzuki Gun, which was Taichi, Kanemaru, and Zack Sabre Jr. And Taguchi Japan, a team of Juice Robinson, Ricochet, and Taguchi himself.
The
I fell in
greatest
love
team
with-
ever assembled, you mean?
I've fallen in love with this team. Taguchi, as it is, and his funky weapon. The look on... They wear these shirts that they're like baseball/soccer kind of like kit jerseys, and they each have their name and number on the back, which is really cool. I would so buy one if I lived in Japan.
Right.
And Taguchi's set is number 69 because of course it is. When you're a funky weapon, that's what happens.
Oh yeah.
But each one of the shirts has the 69 like on like the breast pocket kind of thing, and then they have their actual number on the back. And they're showing the team as they show up, and Juice Robinson just turns around, looks at the camera, like pulls his jacket a little bit just to show the 69, looks down at the number 69, and just gives like a knowing smile to the camera. And I'm just like, my God.
He has blossomed so much in Japan.
Yeah.
God. I love the juice. I'm drinking the juice. That's probably not the phrase I intended to use there.
Yeah. This match went 1839, and it didn't seem like it did, just I guess because,
it's 4 matches.
Yeah. And the matches went relatively quickly, and it was fine. It was fun to watch. Those type of gauntlet type matches just are interesting. When you see when the first 2 teams come out, you're like, okay, these guys are not going to win, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. It was a fun kind of match that went all over the place.
Yeah.
And, I got to see like a half naked Japanese woman in bunny ears for some reason.
Yeah.
Because it's reasons.
Right. Because he's the Tokyo Pimp. Yeah. I enjoyed this match a lot. This Bullet Club team is whatever. Like, it's 3 guys. Okay. Los Ingobernables are amazing all the time. Toru Yano is just the best. And I will buy all his DVDs for as long as I live.
I've learned to embrace him too.
Especially while he smiles and does his little shrug, and then in the background you just see Ishii just stone-faced.
Why am I
time.
here?
This is the Suzuki-gun team, like whatever with Kanemaru. I love Zack Sabre Jr., but Taichi makes me want to lick lead paint until I can't feel feelings anymore. And then we've both covered our love for Taguchi Japan. But it was a fun little match. I mean, it was exactly what it needed. It was nothing crazy, nothing over the top. It was exactly what it needed to be.
And part of this match makes me kind of wish that we had these little, like, groups in WWE. Just these kind of, like, groups of, like, 3 or 4 guys. So then, you have this loaded roster. You have tons of people on the roster. But you can kind of, like, whittle that down to representation. So if you've got a feud against each other, you don't have to have the same 2 guys constantly feuding. You can have their groups feud, and it doesn't have to be the horrible like attitude era group warfare where you had the Berwickwas and DOA and all that. That was horrible because they were groups with absolutely no identification, that they just all came in at the same time as a group of 4. It's like, no, you need like these guys to kind of bring in their own little like group together. Like for whatever reason, if you wanted AJ Nakamura and Sami Zayn to kind of form a group, they would form a group. I mean, you wouldn't have all three higher guys like that, but that's the thing. You'd have just like three guys form a group and another three guys form a group because of reasons. You know, they don't even necessarily have to have a reason except for the fact that, you know, we were four guys that didn't have a group. So screw it. We're going to make our own group. And I think it would help tell stories a little bit better, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
WWE
it made me realize that watching this match. I was just like, everybody has a little group in New Japan.
Yeah. WWE's obsessed with stables. Like having a very close-knit group that will come out with each other all the time, period, end of story. If they went to more of a faction system like this, where it's like, you know, look at the biggest factions, Los Ingobernables, Bullet Club, and Chaos. Like, it's a bunch of guys who are associated with each other, but aren't necessarily, like, up each other's ass coming out down the ramp all the time.
Yeah, I mean, like, especially Chaos. Like, you don't necessarily even know that they're a group necessarily. They're not all wearing the same clothes or whatever. They just happen to be affiliated with each other.
Right. That's all. I would like that.
Yeah. So we won't. And then
it could cross promotions. And look, there you've built in your Survivor Series feuds.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Maybe cross it over a little bit. Maybe with NXT. Maybe I don't know. Who knows?
Could have a Survivor Series gauntlet match.
You could have that.
Sounds like the most mind-numbing pay-per-view of all time. So it will happen now.
Yeah. Match 4. The Bucks of Youth defeated Roppongi Vice to regain their IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship in 14-14. This is the 6th reign of the Young Bucks as Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions.
They are now better than Jordan.
There was even a picture that one of the Jacksons put on line of him hugging the belt, and he put it side by side with Jordan hugging the NBA championship trophy.
That's amazing.
I enjoy the hell out of the Young Bucks, and there's a lot of Shawn Michaels I see in them. I mean, just for the fact that between like, I don't know if it's the super kicks or the overselling or what, but I mean, they put together entertaining matches. So,
well, their whole gimmick is we're two 12-year-olds watching wrestling in 1999.
Yeah,
like I have a very love-hate relationship with them.
Yeah, I know you do.
Like, I'll love them for. I'm in a love period right now, so I'm going to give this match nothing but huge props. I love the constant story that's being told with Roppongi Vice lately of Romero being the one that always kind of seemed to let the team down, if that makes any sense. Of being the one that gets beaten down and costing them the match, while Beretta's just, you know, getting taken out and everything and can't help Rocky to save his life.
Yeah, there was the strong tease there that I was looking for, some kind of turn or something like that, or at least a blow up after the match, and it didn't happen. They're gonna milk this for a little bit longer.
Well, I mean, they started kind of working this way during Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
So, and it would be good. It would be good for Rocky Romero to get a change because he's been there so long.
Yeah.
So, but really, really good match. Lots of flippy shit because it's the Young Bucks and Roppongi Vice. I can't say it's a groundbreaking match for either of them, but it was enjoyable. If you've seen it on Ring of Honor, you've probably seen this match.
Yeah. Next match for the IWGP Tag Team Championship. The Gorillas of Destiny, Haku's Children, defeated John Tenta Jr. and Fat Carl Anderson for the IWGP Tag Team Championship.
Thank God.
I so don't like War Machine.
I did not enjoy them in this match.
I
I just don't care for them.
I get it. You're fat. You can do stuff off the top rope.
Whoa, Hansen's agile. Is he?
Yeah, he can climb to the top rope and get thrown off of it. Good for you.
So could Bastion Booker.
Yeah. So.
God, I love Tama Tonga and Tongaloa though.
I love the fact that
they're so
Tonga
good.
can do his face paint so that it blends in with his facial hair.
Right? That is an unsung skill in
That is
professional
like-
wrestling these days.
It's like he's screaming, no, that's just his goatee. That's pretty cool.
Also, just love every time when the Gorillas of Destiny have a match. I just start counting how many times you hear one of them yell, "Ah, motherfucker!" It's just like, come on.
The one particular spot that I liked, and I haven't seen enough Gorillas of Destiny to know if this is a common thing that they do, but they had one of the War Machine people down, and Tonga and Roa
Which
just
one, the
get
fat
down.
one or the fat one?
Yeah. And Tonga and Roa get down on all fours, and he just starts circling. And I'm like, this just looks cool as hell. Because it's just like sharks in the water almost, or, you know, they're these beasts that are surrounding their prey.
Yeah.
Like it was just a cool visual.
Camacho and his brother have a great look. I love their attitude when they're in the ring. Like, their moveset is perfectly suited to who they are and their bodies. God, they're just great.
Yeah.
This was a fun match. Even with War Machine in it, like, it was an enjoyable match.
Yeah. Match 6 or 5, depending on how you're counting. Cody, do not mention his last name, defeated Mike Elgin, 11:53.
Number one merch seller at the show, by the way. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. I love the character of Cody. His matches have not blown me away.
Here's what I think that is, especially because they keep pairing him with Americans. He is wrestling an American style match in the middle of this card.
Yeah.
He is wrestling, and when I say American style, I pretty much mean WWE style.
Right.
Like, slow, plodding. Like, I mean, it's still, they had a great match. I'm not taking anything away from the work these two did, because they're both incredible workers. But it just doesn't fit flow-wise. Now, when he gets to Long Beach on July 1st and he's wrestling Kazuchika Okada, that's his put up or shut up moment.
Yeah.
Like, that's the time for him to show why he left WWE and why they should hire him back immediately.
It's time to put the working shoes on.
Yeah. But I agree with you. Because we had that same discussion when we were sitting here watching Wrestle Kingdom. We were like, that was fine. It just didn't fit. I just think they haven't found a good partner for him yet.
It was a good American match in the middle of, you know, a good Japanese card. So it's not to say that it was necessarily a bad match, but it just doesn't fit necessarily.
Right.
Moving on.
We're now to the stuff I have not seen.
Okay.
Except for the main event.
Okay, for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, and possibly the best story they've told over the last several months.
Yep.
Kushida regains the Junior Heavyweight Championship from Takahashi in 19 minutes, 12 seconds in what was an excellent match from both a work rate standpoint and from a storytelling standpoint. I mean, I've just loved Kushida's story, just this whole thing of him losing the match, losing the title back on January 4th, which was a great match in its own right. But to see him fight to get his rematch, he gets his rematch. He loses in 2 minutes because things happen. Mm-hmm. Then he goes into Best of the Super Juniors and proceeds to start laying an egg during Best of the Super Juniors and kind of get down on himself and almost rebuild himself and use his fighting spirit deep down inside, turn it all around, win Best of the Super Juniors, get the rematch with Takahashi, who, having read about this a little bit, did not realize that Takahashi wanted to wrestle the English dude. Ospreay. Why am I going blank? Ospreay for the title. And when he found out that it was going to be Kushida instead of Ospreay, he cried.
Yep.
So, yeah, so many things going on here. But Kushida gets the match and then proceeds to, again, tear the roof off and have a great match because Kushida does that. And Takahashi does that. And just a great match.
So, my one comment, which is completely unrelated to this match since I haven't seen it, is that I've been in love with Kushida since Wrestle Kingdom 10 when he had his entrance and the banner above the ring where they always show like who's facing who. He's making his entrance and they wrote Time Spritter. And I was like, oh, God, that's hilarious. I love this guy.
And I will note, too, that, and I don't know how recently this has been done, when Kushida came down to ringside, he was not wearing his inflatable vest.
I think they're slowly backing off the Marty McFly stuff.
He was wearing kind of like an orange work shirt kind of thing, and it had patches on it, and it had a lot of that Back to the Future kind of symbolism on like the shirt. But yeah, I mean, and maybe that's a transition of its own. So
right. It's a big show, just different gear.
Next match. For the Never Openweight Championship, a lumberjack death match. Minoru Suzuki, with all of Suzuki Gun, pretty much, defeated Hiroki Goto with all of, what was it, Chaos?
Yeah.
Almost all of Chaos. This was fine. I mean, it's a lumberjack match. It's just it's as stiff as you kind of expected it to be. It wasn't necessarily outstanding, but I mean, on a different card, it probably would have been a lot better. But it's just one of those incredibly stiff matches that you'd expect with Goto and Suzuki.
Okay.
Next up, for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship, or whatever is left of it, Tetsuya Naito loses the broken title to Tanahashi in 25:56. Can't really say enough about this match, too. I mean, look at the two wrestlers that are involved in it. You know pretty much what's going to happen. They pulled out all the stops. It was just they worked on Tanahashi's arm because of the actual legitimate injury that he suffered. Naito had a knee injury that was being worked by Tanahashi. It just kept going back and forth and back and forth, and yeah.
That's what I was going to ask, was how did Tanahashi look with the shoot bicep tear?
He had a sleeve on, which, is completely protects him because it's a sleeve.
Yeah, of course.
But I did not really notice that much of a difference in his style. I mean, he just pulled out a very good match. But obviously the scene stealer, Okada Omega 2.
Oh, God. Talk real slow about this match, Tom.
60 minutes, man.
60-minute Broadway.
Can I tell you now? I have attention issues. That's a thing, and I generally cannot sit through a 15-minute match where I'll be on my phone. Like, the match will be in the background, I will be on my phone, or I'll be with him. I watched the 60-minute match, and I did not realize we were even close to 60 minutes.
It flew by. The only reason I knew it was 60 was because I knew that it obviously happened before I watched it.
Well, it was funny because I was getting ready to watch it. I had just watched the Tanahashi match. So the next match coming up, they do the little intro thing. And I had to do something at work, so I paused it to go do something. I don't know if I had to, whatever. I had to pause it because I'm like, I don't want to miss any of the match. I come back and I realize how much is left in the card, and I'm just like, there must be a lot of interviews after it, because I somehow managed to stay away from spoilers for like a day and a half.
That's impressive in this day and age.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that I heard was it was an incredible match. That was the only thing that was said that I saw. So I'm like, all right, cool, got it. Not that I was expecting anything different, but just going into that match. And I mean, just everything, just the spots, the match itself, the storytelling. There's a spot where Okada is beating the living snot out of Omega at this point, and Omega is pretty much dead. And they're both pretty much dead at this point. But Okada gets Omega set up for the Rainmaker and proceeds to whip him in to go deliver the Rainmaker, and Omega just drops to his knees, and Okada misses the Rainmaker, not because Omega was ducking it, but because he collapsed.
Yep.
Because he was not strong enough to stand on his feet. It was just
that spot. The damn. I wish someone would call them and tell them how to gimmick a damn table, because I have to watch someone fly into a table again and it not break, and just knowing that there are 8 cracked ribs there.
Damn Japanese efficient table making.
that out of nowhere reverse Rana that Omega hit near the end. Every freaking Snapdragon suplex that happened, where I was like, well, they both just broke their necks.
Yep.
The big story, I guess, is Cody running down to throw in the towel for Omega and being stopped by the Bucks.
Yeah, I like how that kind of swerved into the what's Cody doing? Is he kind of trying to take a leadership role? Is he kind of muscling in on Omega?
Yeah. I think that's the ultimate
plot line.
I think that's the ultimate angle here. And it makes sense too. Maybe he's a faction member with Omega, and he knows how strong he is and how driven and how determined he is. So if he wins the title, he doesn't want to have to challenge Omega. He's scared of him. He'd rather face Okada. Plus, he'd already called out Okada, so it would have been real weird. But just watch this match, people. Go pay your 999 yen to New Japan World.
And I love the fact that you've got a group like Bullet Club, because you've got the Young Bucks that came to ringside, and Gato comes to ringside. So you have your accompanied people at ringside, as happens. But when Cody comes down, and pretty much all of Bullet Club comes down, and part of you's going, what's going on? And being trained by American wrestling, you're going, oh, we're going to have crap going. I mean, even in Japanese wrestling, when the Bullet Club, when their numbers start to come down to ringside, you're like, oh, we're going to get a ref bump, we're going to get something weird, whatever. No. you had Cody do the whole thing with the towel, which the towel ends up getting in the ring anyway. Both wrestlers use it and proceed to throw it back at them.
Yeah, that was great.
And then the entire Bullet Club just politely looks at ringside and just watches the match.
Mm-hmm.
Because they knew. I mean, it's like it was that ultimate kind of sign of respect that we know we're watching. Even though we want our guy to win, we want to watch this match. We don't want to fuck it up.
Yeah. The other only thought I have on this match is I kind of want to see Gato shave just because I think he'd look really odd.
It's so weird to see. I didn't see them for a while. And I remember them back from seeing them on old tape trading when they were in the War promotion.
Mm-hmm.
And when they were pretty much two guys, Jado and Ghetto as two guys pretty much in different color pajamas that, whatever. So when I saw them now, I'm like, what the hell? When did Ghetto become
Yakuza number Ghetto?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's funny because there's a match. I forget what WCW pay-per-view it is. And I don't know why they did it because WCW would just bring in random people out of nowhere for whatever reason. But they brought in Ghetto to wrestle Chris Jericho. Because the two actually had a history because Jericho wrestled in a War promotion for a period of time, him and Lance Storm. And they wrestled Jado and Ghetto in their junior heavyweight division. And you see that guy with the bleached blonde hair, clean shaven, in yellow pajamas pretty much. And then you see this guy now and you're like, these are not the same person.
Yeah.
Because Jericho kind of looks the same, but
right.
But anyway, yeah.
Watch it.
Yeah, I mean, set aside some time and again, be amazed that, and the beginning of the match, the first, I'd say 10, 15 minutes of it, I guess, isn't that overwhelming. It's fine, and I went into the match, again, watching that first kind of 10 minutes and going, is it going to live up to its hype? Because it's not really, it's not necessarily doing as much for me. It's not their last match. And the last 20 minutes of the match, hell, the last 10 are just, if you could bottle that and sell it.
Yeah.
It's how you tell a story in wrestling. It's so well done, and I'm curious to see what Meltzer gives it because I heard that Meltzer likes this match better than
that's what
the
he
original
said.
match.
6.5 stars. Well, it can't be. It wasn't in the Tokyo Dome. 5.5 stars.
So yeah, just curious to see.
Yep.
And so apparently there's a person that's taking bets or because you can bet on anything on the internet. There's an actual bookie that takes bets on star ratings for Meltzer matches.
Yeah, it's a UK internet betting site, Paddy Power. That's taking
people bet on anything.
Taking money line, yeah. So that kind of leads us into G1 Special in USA on July 1st and 2nd in Long Beach. First night live on Access TV, second night live on New Japan World. Just to kind of run through that card. The first, on July 1st, Okada and Cody for the title. And then we have 2 first-round matches for the United States, the IWGP United States Heavyweight title. Elgin and Omega and Ishii and Naito. War Machine gets their rematch against the Guerrillas of Destiny for the titles. 8-man tag. David Finlay, Jay White, Kushida, Tanahashi versus Tanaka, Komatsu, Yoshitatsu, and Billy Gunn. 2 other first-round matches in the U.S. title tournament. The Juice, Robinson, and Zack Sabre Jr., and Jay Lethal and Hangman Page. Let's see, we got another 8-man tag match. Titan, Dragon Lee, Volador Jr., and Liger versus Hiromu Takahashi, Bushi, Evil, and Sonata. And then another 8-man. Nope, this is a 10-man tag match. Roppongi Vice, Ospreay and the Briscoes versus the Young Bucks, Marty Scurll, Takahashi. I'm sorry, Yujiro Takahashi. There we go, because it's Bullet Club. And Bad Luck Fale. So that's a pretty stacked card.
I told you there were too many Takahashis.
July 2nd, we'll have the semifinals and finals of the U.S. title tournament. Tanahashi defending his Intercontinental Championship against, I don't know if he's Mr. Ass or the one in this situation, but Billy Gunn.
I was going to say, Billy Gunn is getting a New Japan title match.
Yeah.
That's Billy Gunn.
I don't know why. Why is this a thing, Tom? Why?
New Japan likes irony sometimes. New Japan likes taking America. It's like, you know how SmackDown likes to take the underutilized talent that, like, you know, Raw didn't use and then actually put them into like a main event kind of.
Are you suggesting that Gato was Daniel Bryan?
I'm suggesting that New Japan has done this for decades, just with slabs of irony. Like, what weird American wrestler can we take and actually make like a tag team champion? Got it.
Billy Gunn.
Yep.
And the Young Bucks will defend against Roppongi Vice on night 2. Fun. So that'll be fun. Interested to see the crowd reactions to that. To all that.
I think they're going to have a hot crowd.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they sold out tickets so fast. It'll be a good one. Miscellaneous WWE notes that don't really make sense in the 10 count. John Cena is a free agent, apparently. Whatever that means.
When he returns, sign him?
When he... you can't... It's his new t-shirt. He'll return on July 4th to SmackDown Live. Interesting date choice, because ain't nobody going to be watching.
But because America.
Right. Roman Reigns will announce his plans for SummerSlam fucking hella early on Monday night. Because I guess Braun is coming back. He is cleared, by the way. And
but it was going to be 6 months.
Right. If Roman comes out, grabs the mic, and then all you hear over the PA system is, "I'm not finished with you yet," and then Strowman just comes hightailing it down the damn ramp and just lays him out.
Like surgical tools still attached to him.
Oh my god, yes. Bayley and Corey Graves had the weirdest, most awkward segment of all time Monday night. My exact comment on the rundown, that shit was bizarre as fuck. With her creepily trying to get a hug from him after the interview where she basically admits she's a complete loser. And then Corey Graves going, "I need a cigarette." It was so weird, Tom.
No one knows what they're doing with her anymore.
So now I'm in because they're just making it weirder. And then there was a rumor that in video game news that Seth Rollins is going to be on the cover of WWE 2K18 in things that don't make sense.
Well, somebody has to be.
Well,
and if it was Roman, you would have bitched.
No, if it was Roman, it'd be great. That'd be a fun game. The Roman Reigns experience. It could be it could be like one of those. You know how they keep adding like the career modes to like FIFA and Madden and all that, where you play as one person. You just get to play. You just Roman, building up from your career. Literally, you boot the game up and it's like, "Hey, you got a title match tonight, kid."
Girl,
you're like, "Oh shit!" You just go through the normal daily life of Roman Reigns. Just wetting your hair in the back before you come out. Just tap an X to get the right amount of wetness.
Roman Reigns shower mode. What a mini game that would be.
But, I mean,
hot, cold, hot,
I guess
hot, cold.
The best part would be, though, if they had the Roman's Reign mode, you'd never lose. Right?
Be the ultimate God mode. The more damage you take, the stronger you get.
So here's what I want from this. Is I want Roman on the cover, because one, that makes more sense since he's a bigger star anyway. But I want it to be an 8-bit Nintendo, like NES cover of Roman in the shower, just with the WWE 2K18 text on the, like, at an angle right below him. Just 8-bit shower Roman.
Please buy our new T-shirt, 8-bit shower Roman. Only on cheatersneverpin.com.
Coming soon. And you want to know the good part about when you go to cheatersneverpin.com and buy our merch, Tom?
The fact that there's an 8-bit Roman shirt?
There's not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
We got to get on that. You want to know the best part, Tom?
What's that?
When you go to cheatersneverpin.com and you click the Amazon button on the front page, it kicks a few cents back to us. And you know what we do with those few cents, Tom?
Buy pornography?
We put it to find a cure for mesotheliomia.
Oh, I guess that would be good too.
You of all people should want this. And here's what's more important. When you go to cheatersneverpin.com and you click the Amazon button on the front page, if you're going to go to Amazon, do all your normal shopping like usual. It kicks a few cents back to us. We've covered that for months. The other important thing is when you add all your other shit to your cart, if you search Shut Up Tom in Amazon, after clicking the button on cheatersneverpin.com, the first thing that comes up is the Shut Up Tom t-shirt. Now here's the important part. If Tom succumbs to mesotheliomia because A, you didn't give to the Patreon, or B, you didn't buy enough shit on Amazon, I'm getting rid of the shirt because I'm not profiting off the death of my friend. So you need to go to Amazon.com and search Shut Up Tom and buy the Shut Up Tom t-shirt before he dies.
And that way it can be, awkward because, like, the ultimate shut up is if I was dead.
And here's the thing. If we don't get enough money by you going to cheatersneverpin.com, clicking the Amazon button, and buying stuff to kick a few cents back to us with no extra charge to you, and we don't get enough money to cure mesotheliomia and Tom drops dead, at least we're all going to have a cool t-shirt to wear together. So you got to buy the t-shirt.
I don't know how comfortable I feel about threatening my life.
cheatersneverpin.com. Click the Amazon button, do your shopping, kick us a few cents, and buy a t-shirt or two when you search section 328.
Yeah, I probably won't die.
Are you done with this bit now? Tara, your wife is going to murder me.
I just want to throw a general disclaimer out there that I'm probably not dying.
Well, let's see. So I have a habit of killing people off on podcasts. I think the first time I guessed it on Cheaters Never Win, we murdered Derek.
Yeah.
The second time,
I remember that.
The second time I murdered Mike.
Yeah. That was the one I wasn't invited back for.
I'm taking you guys out one by one, man.
Oh. I assume Chris
rude.
comes back once you kill me off.
Well, yeah. Duh.
Yeah.
He's the best guest we've ever had.
Yeah. Easily.
All right,
Hi,
Tom.
Mike. Hi, Derek. Who am I kidding? Mike's not listening.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't really count them as guests because they're part of the network. It's more like a guest co-host appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's different. Hi, Mike. Hi, Derek. Please keep letting us have merch and things.
Yeah.
All right, Tom, you ready for the 10 count?
I suppose I am.
All right, let's kick it off.
1.
Bray Wyatt's wife, Samantha, has filed for divorce and in the proceedings cites that he was cheating on her with JoJo.
Judge looked at paperwork and said, "Yep, I get it."
That was just an out of left field thing that I saw this week, and I was like, "Huh, that's an interesting couple."
Yeah,
things you wouldn't expect, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't have necessarily put the two of them together, and I still can't really do that. But good on you, Bray.
Hey, he fucking cheated on his wife. Not good on him. Fuck him.
Yeah, that's
shit.
bad. But
I mean,
yeah.
if you're gonna do it,
maybe their marriage is falling apart. I don't know.
Who knows? We weren't there.
But yeah,
Sister
I'm not going to get into it. But
he better call Sister Abigail in to be deposed. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But when they burned down all the evidence, so damn you, Randy Orton. Oh, does that work? It's like, oh, I accuse you of cheating, and then Bray Wyatt, Bray just does the pose, and they're like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah. He just blows out the lantern and disappears out of the courtroom or the arbitration room. Like, where the fuck did he go? So
there's a story completely kind of unrelated to this about
I didn't cheat on my wife, man.
Bray, Husky, whatever you want to call him, yeah. Wyndham Rotunda, trying to get into the Bray Wyatt persona. And I
that's
guess
a WWE 24 I want to see.
He was working with, I think, Dusty, and Dusty was pushing on him. You got to stay in character. You always got to stay in character. And apparently, Wyndham Rotunda got a jury duty summons, and he's like, "Well, I got to go to jury duty." And
I gotta go to jury duty.
Dusty's like, "You're going in character." So apparently, Wyndham Rotunda shows up for his jury duty thing in full Bray Wyatt Cape Fear gear, completely in character, does not drop character.
What you see here is the miscarriage of justice, man. And I'm just here to bring a little bit of knowledge into this courtroom and a little bit of fear into the hearts of everyone here. That's my Bray Wyatt. I'm real proud of it.
Needless to say, he did not get selected. But that's my little Bray Wyatt story.
Thanks, I'd not heard that one before.
Yeah. I forget where I read that or heard it or whatever, but yeah. Yet another Dusty story.
2 years. Miss you, Dusty.
Yeah. 2!
Bellator MMA has hired Mauro Ranallo to be a play-by-play guy, alongside Mike Goldberg, who was recently let go by UFC. But Mauro's back. Mauro's back in the game, y'all.
And the first time I saw something about this tweeted out, it was Mauro and Goldberg are signed on. I'm going, wait, what?
He just brings his kid shirtless to every match.
Just drags him into the broadcast position. He looks on in horror.
Shirtless.
That poor kid, man. Bray!
I like to pause before while you get your breath every time.
I've had a little throat issue for whatever reason.
I'm sorry.
I need another beverage.
I have one too after doing my yelling Bray Wyatt impersonation, man.
Yeah, so do it some more. That'll help.
Yeah, man, I will. All right. Number 3, Jim Cornette went on an epic next level rant on his podcast last week, calling out Vince Russo to an actual fight in a park where no guns, no knives are allowed, and no cops. And when he shows up, Cornette's bringing $5,000, and if Russo can beat him up, he gets to take it.
But he didn't say he wasn't bringing a bat.
If you haven't heard this, you have it. It is incredibly NSFW.
Yeah.
But listen to it. It is maybe the best promo I've ever heard in my life.
Angry Cornet is my favorite Cornet.
This was next level, though. This was like a whole, like, Angry Cornet's great. This is a whole even, like, step up, man.
Because you can tell he's not in character at this point. He's just, yeah.
Because he starts the whole thing off of being like, this isn't what I don't even remember what. This isn't MLW radio saying this. They're not responsible. My producer's not responsible. And Court Bauer's not responsible. But fuck you, Vince Russo.
Yeah, it just starts to build and build.
He accuses him of being impotent.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredible.
There are many words you do not want to put in front of children in that.
That entire rant is part of them.
But yeah, fun stuff. I agree. Seek it out. I was listening to it on my way home from work, and I sat. There was like 10 minutes left, and I just sat in the car and listened to the rest of it, just because I couldn't.
Good.
Obviously, I couldn't bring it into have my children listen to it.
It's bad enough they probably have to listen to me.
Yeah, that's what we all say.
Yeah, well.
Bore!
Mark Andrews had an injury scare at the NXT show in Derby. He was stretchered out after appearing to have a neck injury, but he is okay. So that's good. No injury.
That's good.
Because it's Mark Andrews. And if you've never listened to his band, Junior, by the way, seek them out. They're really good if you like pop punk.
And who doesn't? Really?
Right.
Do they do covers of weird traditional 80s songs?
No.
That's what good
Not
pop
to my
punk
knowledge.
does. Oh.
And this is my platform to say this because I know it was hated on. I still love the new Fall Out Boy song.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't have a problem with Fall Out Boy.
Don't at me. A lot of people hated their new song.
A lot of people hate Fall Out Boy in general, so.
Then they're fucking wrong.
5!
In Total Divas news, just for Tom, Renee Young will not be on this season, which means no Dean. Sad face.
Boo.
But Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss will be added to the cast.
That's not a fair trade.
I know. I love Dean, man. But as long as Miz and Maurice are still around, I'm kind of cool with it.
I mean, I don't know why I'm complaining since I don't watch the show, but...
Yeah, get out of my show, Tom.
6!
Former Carolina Panthers running back, I don't know. Professional.
Running back.
Thank you. Running back D'Angelo Williams will be wrestling on TNA's or Impact Wrestling's Slammiversary on July 2nd, tag teaming with the Moose to take on Eli Drake and Chris Adonis. So that's a thing.
What is... I'll just say that promotion, since they're not TNA, they're Impact or whatever it is. What is that promotion's fascination with, like, football players? I mean,
all right.
They've used Pac-Man Jones. Actually, I should say not football players, professional athletes, because they've had AJ Pierzynski. They've had Hermie Sadler, NASCAR guy.
What was it? Tito Ortiz, too?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Sign wrestlers. Really?
That's a lot of work. They just got Scott Steiner, okay?
Exactly. Sign wrestlers. 7!
Jesse Ventura has a new reality show that's going to premiere on Russian state-paid television RT America called The World According to Jesse.
Nothing Jesse Ventura does is rooted in any kind of reality anymore.
I'm so curious, and I don't know why.
Because there's a Russian-based American television station?
Right. It's Russian-paid American television. It's like Russian state television doing a Jesse Ventura reality show. 2017's fucking weird, dude.
Like, is this a channel I can get? Like,
yeah.
what other shows are on this channel?
It's usually just like news. But
news
Russian
and like...
You've never flipped past RT before?
I cut the cord, so...
I think it's mainly on like those services.
Oh, I'll have to see what I can find. Maybe there's some quality Fred Durst stuff on there. May he hang out in Russia or something?
My way. All right.
8.
The clan of Hardy grew this past week with the birth of Wolfgang Xander Hardy, brother of King Maxwell, who was born on June 8th, 7 pounds, 4 ounces. Mom and baby are doing well, and Matt was already back on TV.
Yeah, so that blew my theory there, but
Yep.
I guess, if you're working and everybody's okay, then keep working.
Yep.
So, again, that blows my theory for all that with the whole broken gimmick and him taking time off, but whatever. There's still time, I guess. I don't know.
We're not getting the broken gimmick. I'm fully convinced now.
Yeah, I have a feeling you're right with that. 9!
Ron Starr, who wrestled in the 70s and 80s in Puerto Rico, Stampede, and on the West Coast, passed away this past week at the age of 67. His real name was Robert Eugene Nutt. Wrestled from 72 to 92 and is most notably the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion.
Why would you use Ron Starr over Eugene Nutt?
Right? You already have the name, dude. Just go with it.
Dude, it's right there on a platter.
Yeah.
But
and he tagged with Wayne Ferris in the 80s.
A pre-honky tonk man, Wayne Ferris.
Correct.
10!
In even sadder death news, one of the core members of Bread Club, Kojima's dog, passed away on June 5th. He was 13 years old. Everyone that listened to this show just went, what the fuck are you talking about?
Okay, so little background. If you enjoy Twitter, which I do, one of the best Twitter accounts I've followed in the last 6 months has been Kojima's Twitter account. I'd say 80 to 85% of his tweets are in Japanese, which, there's a little translate button, I guess, that you can actually translate his Japanese tweets out of kanji and read. And, they're kind of generic type messages about like his wrestling and, who he happens to be wrestling this week and that type of thing. But he's trying his damnedest to learn English. Mm-hmm. And he knows a little bit of English. And he's decided, I guess, part of this is that he realizes he has American fans and English-speaking fans. So 1 out of every 5 or 6 or 7 tweets is in English. And it's in broken English. And he tries. But
there's one common theme that unites 95% of these English tweets.
And it is bread. Kojima loves bread more than... To use a meme, find yourself someone who loves you like Kojima loves bread.
There you go.
He is obsessed with bread and bread products, and it's just kind of cute the way he does it.
And he's been trying to get Bread Club over.
Which it's totally over with me.
Yeah, me too.
And yeah, when he just tweeted recently that his dog passed away, and I can remember when I saw initially, like a few months ago, he posted something about his dog, and it was like something like, my dog is old, but he is nice, and just the sweetest like little thing. And then when I happened to see something a couple of days ago that mentioned the fact that his dog had passed away, it was just like, oh no.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to pull up his Twitter because I can't seem to find it because I'm not on my tradition. There it is. Okay. Just I'll read a few tweets from
please do.
Kojima.
It's at cozy_lariat, COZY.
Let's see, 2 hours ago, as of the time that we're recording this. Hello. I will eat morning set from McDonald's now. I am happy because I have pancakes. I will fight tonight. The one that I guess alerted me to his dog situation, because his dog passed away several days ago. Yeah. On June 10th, he tweeted out, "My dog died on 5th. Very sad. I had a wonderful time in the 13 years I spent with him. I will not forget forever." And you read that and you're like, "Aw." He tweeted a couple days later, "Thank you for my many messages to my dog. Surely my dog is happy too. R.I.P." But then more recently, yesterday he tweeted out, "Good morning. My dog is dead and still sad. However, since I am a pro wrestler, I live powerfully. Let's work out too." These are the type of tweets you get from Kojima.
Yep.
And it's just, I don't know. There's a zen quality to these tweets, and I just read them, and just the simple happiness that he gets out of like wrestling and trying to do English, and he knows that he's not that good at it, but it's just kind of one of the most pure things. Like, Twitter's a pile of shit a lot of times, and it's just one of the most pure things that's on there now. And it just, like, I get down sometimes and I'll hit his Twitter feed and go through it and look for the actual things that I can literally read. It's like, May 24th, today is off. I drink hot coffee and I eat French toast. It's happiness. I am really happy. Thank you. #bread club.
Awesome.
It's
lovely.
It is. I highly recommend, as JC said, at cozy_lariat. It is the only Japanese account that I follow. Be warned, once you follow it, you'll get recommendations to follow a bunch of other Japanese accounts for the 5 days following. Pretty much, Twitter will go, "Oh, since you like that account, here's a whole bunch of other stuff you can't read."
Yep. All right. Well, that wraps up another 10 count. I remembered to use it this time.
Yeah, and I didn't use the thing that I said last time, so that's probably for the best.
Tom, are you ready?
I'm braced. Hit it.
Match exchange.
I got a little shrapnel in my eye that time, I think.
Oh, God. Well, since you had a 20th century classic, I'm going to let you go first.
Fuck yeah.
For those of you who didn't see the conversation we had before we recorded this, check out Cheaters Never Pin on Instagram.
Okay, so WCW in the 90s, the late 90s, had this obsession with celebrities and mainstream people. I mentioned before about like bringing in like football players and legitimate athletes. They tried to make Steve McMichael a thing. It shouldn't have been. They brought in Reggie White. They shouldn't have. They brought in Kevin Green, who actually was pretty good for a football player and seemed to be able to take bumps halfway decent, but he was still actually actively playing football at the time, so they actually wrote provisions in his contract that said, please don't ever do that again. And by the time he was out, that wasn't really a thing anymore. But for whatever reason, they started to get weird. It's almost like they just started to get vaguely off the rails. And They had Karl Malone wrestle in a match, which put Karl in the ugliest, like, purple leather pants ever. Just looking as awkward as hell. But they decided to bring Jay Leno in on a match, which...
The king of late night.
A person who shouldn't have been wrestling on a pay-per-view that shouldn't have happened, that made literally no money in ticket sales, because Road Wild was a pay-per-view that WCW ran because Eric Bischoff wanted to go to Bike Week in Sturgis. So they decided to have a pay-per-view each year during the bike event at Sturgis, which they could not charge for tickets for, so they had it, and they had all the bikers kind of like park around and rev as people came to ringside or whatever. But like, yeah, it was never a good card, but for whatever reason they decided to bring in Jay Leno, and they built this whole thing up over several months. The NWO had their own like Tonight Show like set, and Bischoff was going to be the host, and it was a whole build. And for like months you saw this happen, and you're like, this is going to be horrible, why are they still doing this? Pull the plug while you still can. But it still ended up happening. So you have this match. It's Bischoff and Hogan against DDP and Jay Leno. Leno comes out, and the NWO members are accompanied by the Disciple, Brutus friggin' Beefcake, and a leather chap wearing Elizabeth, which, that was cool. Because this was around the time that Eric Bischoff decided that Elizabeth was going to be his main squeeze, and because reasons. The other team was accompanied by Kevin Eubanks, who was Jay Leno's band leader at the time. Upon watching this again for the second time, I realized now that Kevin Eubanks was the one that desperately wanted to be a wrestler. I don't know behind the scenes what ended up happening, if he, whatever, but it almost seems like Leno did this because he was friends with Eubanks, and Eubanks wanted to be part of a wrestling show and knew that Eubanks didn't have the star power to be able to be on one, because you've got Jay Leno coming out, and Jay Leno at this point, I don't know how old he was, but he had to be like, at least in his like late 40s, if not in his 50s. I don't know how the hell old he is, but he's not in any shape to wrestle. He's wrestling in a t-shirt, like sweatpants or whatever. He is not. He's been trained about as much as they can. Eubanks is accompanying them to ringside. He's wearing a Tonight Show shirt just like Leno is, but his has the sleeves cut off, and he's built. And he actually literally did more spots in the match than Leno did. He did a particular spot where Hogan ended up going outside the ring, and Eubanks pushed him from behind into the steel post. Threw somebody else into the ring, was getting into arguments with the Disciple at ringside. It was a whole thing. Like, he was totally 100% into this. Leno's kind of looking around like, why the hell am I here? But the whole thing with Leno, as he's doing it, his taunt, it was like, his taunt for whatever reason was he would point to his chin repeatedly, like his chin was loaded or something like that.
And over.
And it was like when you play a wrestling video game for the first time, you figure out where the taunt button is, and he just repeatedly would hit it. Like, somebody would be like, oh, let's lock up. And he would sit there and just point to his chin, point to his chin, point to his chin. Like, stop. Leno did. He twisted a couple of arms. He was thrown into a corner, but he was protected as much as he possibly could. That being said, he still looked horrendous in the ring. He got
the famous 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 10 punches on Bischoff in the corner.
Yeah, but I mean, like, when you look at wrestling and you see like mediocre wrestling and you go, shit, I could do that. Look at that match go, and realize that you probably can't without some training, because otherwise you're going to look like Jay Leno did. Like, he couldn't take runs into the corner. He didn't know how to like bump his head into a turnbuckle. It was just, it looked like they got him out of like, like he showed up to Sturgis and they asked him at like behind the scenes, hey, do you want to do a match today? Instead of something that they were building up to for months and months. So I don't know if there's a thing of like, he wasn't taking it seriously, or he was just in it for the paycheck, or again, like, he didn't necessarily want to do it, but Eubanks really wanted to be part of it, and he wanted to do something for his friend, because I think at this point, Leno wasn't really doing anything for the money necessarily. Anything that he was doing, like a lot of his money stuff was going to charity and things like that. So, and I think his payday for this ended up going to charity. But yeah, there was no reason he should have been anywhere near this. And it was, yeah, a train wreck. And yep. I hate you and screw you.
Give me a star rating, Tom.
-3 stars.
Wow. Unsurprisingly, the lowest you've ever given a match in the history of doing this.
Well, I thought that we were gonna like give each other good matches, or matches that we liked, instead of
I like this match. It's entertaining. I'm sorry.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
You ripped on like Doug Summers and Buddy Rose against the Midnight Rockers, but yet you give me this turd sandwich and expect me to smile and eat it. Yeah. No.
All right. Well, whatever. Can agree. Agree to disagree.
Right. Talk about your match.
The British Bulldogs versus Greg the Hammer Valentine and Brutus Beefcake at WrestleMania 2 from the Rosemont Horizon.
I realized both of our matches involved Ed Leslie.
They did, didn't they?
Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot of notes because I was thoroughly entertained, so I was too busy watching it. I wrote, God bless Gorilla Monsoon. Why are there 2 officials? We only needed 1.
I can actually answer that.
Ooh, okay.
There was a lot of tomfoolery with Beefcake and Valentine. And the Bulldogs were always seemingly coming close and getting a lot of dusty finishes or DQ finishes, or Valentine would end up cheating somehow, or Johnny Valiant would turn around and like pull somebody's leg. So the belief was that with 2 referees, you wouldn't run the risk of, say, one getting knocked out. The second one would be able to find out what was going on and keep the managers at bay and that type of thing. Okay. So that was a big stipulation that finally we were going to get a legitimate match. It wasn't going to end up in a screw job.
Gotcha. They should have played that in somehow then.
You would have thought they would have said that, but nah.
This is the lowest energy ring announcer of all time. Also, why does he keep repeating everything?
Oh, is that Chet Kopic?
I have no idea.
I think so. He was a local Chicago celebrity type person, sports guy. I remember he had a show on Sports Channel like ages ago.
Okay.
He looked very sports reporter guy, like a type of person that had a fedora on his head that literally said like press sticking out of the side of it and chewing a
Jesus.
cigar and that type of guy.
Ozzy Osbourne has no clue where he is, does he?
No.
And then the match started. This was a very, very good tag team match. It was perfectly structured. The Bulldogs are amazing workers. The other two are good workers. Like, it was so good. I just enjoyed the hell out of it. I don't have a whole lot to say. I mean, watch it. I gave it 4 stars. It says a lot. When I'm giving old shit 4 stars.
Yeah, that's actually saying something.
It was just really well worked. They get the heat properly. It lasts for the right amount of time without making anybody look like a complete geek. Then the finish was great with the head, the headbutt out of nowhere, kind of. Valentine gets thrown into the corner. Gets, Dynamite Kid's trying to lean in to make the tag. Has his head sticking over the rope. Valentine runs headfirst into him, and that takes him out. Very good.
Yeah.
Creative finish.
Yeah, the Bulldogs were great. And I mean, it's easy to forget because the actual British Bulldogs tag team, like in America, was only really around for like a year and a half, 2 years tops. And I mean, and realistically, they only had their kind of prime for about a year due to injuries and various other stuff. But just to see them in that prime was, I mean, they almost always had great matches. Dynamite was one hell of a worker, and Davey Boy wasn't that bad himself either before he got completely huge.
Right.
And just to see the two of them work made me want to like seek out some of their other stuff just when they teamed. And I don't know, it kind of makes me pissed off at Brett for taking Stampede away from us.
Yeah, it was very good.
It was on the network and then it went away because Brett.
Right. All right, Tom, what am I watching this week, buddy?
So you pissed me off.
I know. I knew I was asking for payback.
So
go ahead.
Well, I have to find it now because I had it somewhere else.
Because I got you a good match this week to make up for it.
All right, so while I stall slightly, why don't you tell me the good match and try to get back into my good graces?
So I have for you a local match from right down the road in Gibsonville, North Carolina, from CWF Mid-Atlantic. This is available on YouTube. It's part of their worldwide YouTube show. From episode number 60, Trevor Lee versus Andrew Everett. Trevor Lee, the Carolina Caveman. I think he's even a former X Division champion in Impact. One hell of a worker versus Everett, who I also think has been on Impact, who is also one hell of a worker. These two, they just have that chemistry together to where everything is always perfect when they wrestle each other. And this match is a great example of that. So it's CWF Mid-Atlantic Worldwide, episode number 60. Trevor Lee versus Andrew Everett from July 6th, 2016. It's real good. I think you'll enjoy it. And I'll link it on cheatersneverpin.com on the post with this episode so everybody at home can watch it and let us know what they think.
Yeah, please do that because I end up trying to remember what the hell the match was. I don't remember. I don't actually listen to the podcast afterwards.
I always put it on the website, Tom.
Okay. Okay. So I found it now.
All right.
1991. Halloween Havoc in Chattanooga, Tennessee at the UTC Arena.
Bastard.
I thought to myself, what can I give him? I have to find a match that has El Gigante in it.
Oh, God, no.
So I did that. I have to find a match that has a horrible gimmick in it.
No.
And I did that. I have to find a match that someone is killed in kayfabe, and I did that. So, El Gigante, Sting, and the Steiner brothers take on Abdullah the Butcher, the Diamond Stud, Cactus Jack, and Big Van Vader in a Chamber of Horrors match.
I don't want any further description. I want to discover this on my own. I'm really excited by this, actually. 5 stars. Calling it right now. Actually, 4.5. Not in Tokyo Dome.
It was actually the first match of the card.
Wow. Okay.
And it was actually supposed to be a completely different group of people that were fighting against the Gigante, Sting, and Steiner brothers group. According to Wikipedia, originally the match was supposed to feature the four good guys against Oz, the Diamond Stud, the One Man Gang, and Barry Windham. Cactus replaced Oz, Big Van Vader replaced Windham, and Abdullah replaced Gang.
Okay.
During the pre-show, Barry Windham was attacked by Arn Anderson and Larry Zbyszko and suffered a broken hand when they slammed his hand into a car door. One Man Gang was scheduled to take part in the match, but left WCW before the show. With Cactus Jack in the opening match, Oz replaced him against Bill Kazmaier. By the way, don't watch that match.
Alrighty.
Yeah, that whole card, yeah. There's actually a pretty good match with Steve Austin and Dustin Rhodes there, but yeah.
All right, I'm looking forward to this. I like gimmick matches. I mean, I liked House of Horrors, so I'll like Chamber of Horrors, right?
No. I don't think you will.
Okay.
But
right.
Who knows? Maybe it will.
All right.
It was such a striking match that it never happened again.
Oh, no. Fun.
But this match is very typical of early 90s WCW, where they advertised one thing, did another thing, threw together groups that did not necessarily belong together, and just kind of mixed it together and said, screw it, why not? I don't know who was in charge at this time. I don't think it was Bill Watts. I think you were allowed to throw people over the top rope. I'm not sure.
Okay. Fun.
But, yeah. Enjoy that.
I will. And that completes another match exchange. I just wanted to hear it again.
I don't blame you.
All right, Tom, I think that wraps us up for another week.
I think we've gone much too long. So yeah,
only 2 hours without a pay-per-view.
There was a pay-per-view. It was Japanese. But...
Oh, true. Good point. Thomas, tell the people where they can find you on the internet.
Go to the Twitter machine. Go to @MrWorkrate, @MRWorkrate. You can find me on Instagram, but really I don't particularly use it, and the pictures I take are usually of meal choices, and you don't want to see what I eat.
It's just all ramen, isn't it?
Pretty much. But it's fancy ramen a lot of times.
That's true.
I go to like the Asian markets and stuff.
You can find me on the internet on the Twitter machine @JCBobbitt, JCBOBBITT. I'm also on the Instagram there as well. And you can find the show all of the same places. Facebook.com/CheatersNeverPin, @CheatersNVRPin on the Twitter machine, CheatersNeverPin on Instagram. And then also, if you want to help us find a cure for mesotheliomia, please rate, review, and subscribe on the platform of your choice: iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, SoundCloud, YouTube, or Spreaker.
That may not be an actual literal disease, just so you know.
It is. It is now.
Disclaimer.
The Patreon, Amazon, links are up on cheatersneverpin.com. that thing, those as well. Cool. Anything you want to leave the people with? A parting thought?
If you decide to sue us because of the fake disease that JC's been talking about, just know that my disclaimer relieves me of all responsibility for its content.
Right. Well, for another fun mesotheliomia-filled episode of Cheaters Never Pin, I'm JC.
I'm Tom.
That's been Tom. We'll catch you on the flip side.